Blog Talk Radio.
President recognizes Mr. Adams of Massachusetts.
Objects of the most stupendous magnitude. Measures which will affect the lives of millions, born and unborn, are now before us. We must expect a great expense of blood to obtain them. But we must always remember that a free constitution of civil government cannot be purchased at too dear a rate, as there is nothing on this side of Jerusalem of greater importance to mankind. My worthy colleague from Pennsylvania has spoken with great ingenuity and eloquence. He has given you a grim prognostication of our national future, but where he foresees apocalypse, I see hope. I see a new nation ready to take its place in the world. Not an empire, but a republic. And a republic of laws, not men. Gentlemen, we are in the very midst of revolution. The most.
You walk into this room at your own risk, because it leads to the future. Not a future that will be, but one that might be. This is not a new world. It is simply an extension of what began in the old one. It has patterned itself after every dictator who has ever planted the ripping imprint of a boot on the pages of history since the beginning of time. It has refinements, technological advances, and a more sophisticated approach to the destruction of human freedom. But like every one of the super-states that preceded it, it has one iron rule. Logic is an enemy and truth is a menace.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed.
I appeared before the Congressional Committee to tell what I knew of activities, which I believe might lead to an attempt to set up a fascist dictatorship.
A part of that plan, of course, is to induce the gradual surrender of American sovereignty, piece by piece and step by step, to various international organizations, of which the United Nations is the outstanding but far from the only example. The consequent willingness of the American people to allow the steps of appeasement by our government, which amount to a piecemeal surrender of the rest of the free world and of the United States itself.
We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs.
All right, everybody, Joseph Gibson podcasting here, 9:30 p.m. on the East Coast. I got some requests here. Some people did want to speak here tonight, so I want to give them the floor. And everyone knows that, I've been doing the regular shows as scheduled. if you've been paying attention, some things have been happening, so therefore I'm unable to do the show as I've usually been doing. However, the show is still here. For others, we have quite a following, and people have been asking me to do a show. So, it's up to you to use that platform, use this platform the best of its capabilities. Now, I will ask again, as everybody please talk, with a little bit of integrity here. Try to remember there are other people listening. So, knock it off with the F this, F that, this, that, blah, blah, and yelling and arguing with each other. Use the platform wisely. That's all I'm trying to say. I built it up for you. It's here. Use it. I'm unable to do some of the things that have been wanting to do for quite some time now. So, and those of you know what's going on. So we'll live to fight another day on that. But the show is here, and tonight, of course, Mandelkuan did ask to speak here. So I'm going to give him about 30 minutes to speak uninterrupted. Do his commercial. If he wants less, that's fine. If he wants a little bit more, that's fine. It's up to you guys. The floor, we're on for 2 hours. You guys get to do it. The platform is here for you to use. blogtalkradio.com/Joseph Gibson. And that's what the show is here for. So use it wisely. And like I said, Mandelkuan is the guest here tonight, so he gets the floor. And then those of you want to queue in and you want to do what you do and talk, that's fine. And I'll be watching the switchboard. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Mandelkuan on. Mandelkuan does get the floor for the first 30 minutes, and after that, I will open up the call boards and phone lines, and you get to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And that's what's interesting about this show. That's what's great about it, and that's why everybody gets a chance here to talk. And that's what understanding the times in which you live in is really the times in which we live today. We got to understand the times in which we live. We live in information war. So that information is very important to get out to the people. So here we go. Mandelkuan, you get the floor. Here we go. I'm going to unmute your mic, and we do have a bunch of callers on the phone line. And remember, press 1 only one time if you want to get on here. So Mandelkuan, you get the floor first. Here you go. The time is yours. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, producer of Understanding the Times we live in today. As we interacted before you put this broadcast or podcast in the archives of May Day 2020, Memorial Day. And what a great time to be alive, to enter into testimony in international public record based on the sign of the times we live in today, how we are on course for something spectacular. Now, I know you said 30 minutes, and I agree with that. I agree with that, but I probably won't need that because I know we have a multitude of people that's listening, and they're trying to fit in where they get in, and there's no big I's and little U's. We're here to exercise everyone's freedom of speech, freedom of expression, based on what they see going down at the moment. So we must lift every voice and sing because this is a heavy, heavy burden. And we're going to have to lighten the load for everyone. And I'm so privileged and honored that, Joe, after 3 years, you've allotted me 30 minutes, unhindered, unfettered, with no interruptions, after you, the producer, and me being the producer of the total recall of the Ethiopian Matriarch in the Red, Black, and Green, which is in international public record from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, UK, University of Kentucky, from the Congo to the Bongo, of the bloodless revolution of the total recall, to recall, reclaim, reacquire all of Mother Earth's articles and assets for all of us and all of those who help us. And isn't it extraordinary that we're in a time that we live in today when you wasn't going to have a program, and once we interacted, you said, let's do it, because we in solidarity. We join at the hips, Mandelkuan, you and I, like Siamese twins, join at the hips. And we will never taste each other's sweet, sweet four lips. That means we're not going to be with Adam and Steve. That means we're going to stay with Adam and Eve, woman and man. And here's the difference. In everything you've been hearing up to now, to right now, to where I can help you remember what you forgot or what you don't want to recognize. On behalf of the Red, Black, and Green, after 8 years, there was a masked man in social media that had a mask on. Every video in my page, Mandelkuan Davis of the Matriarch. It was me with a mask on, the red, black, and green, 8 years ago, when I instructed Facebook to put up the symbol of the red, black, and green. You know, that red, black, and green. Now you see a multitude of people with the red, black, and green all in their profile in social media. That didn't happen before that masked man and those 25 videos. And I encourage everyone, black, brown, red, yellow, and white, old, young, gay, straight, alike, go to my page and look at that masked man and then compare with the sign of the times we live in today, whether you had the Confederate flag or the red, white, and blue, and you here having a memorial for all the fighters and killers and warriors who said that they are fighting for our liberty, freedom, justice, and total independence. Isn't it extraordinary that y'all got your pork chops, you got your spare ribs, you got your hot dogs, everything on the grill, you know, and you got your mask on, cooking that stuff. Isn't that extraordinary that for the first time in the history of this country, it's required to wear a mask to interact and interchange as it relates to commodities, resources, sustenance, the things that you need, the healthcare, whatever. It's required that you have a mask on. But when I had the mask on 8 years ago, I told y'all that the bloodless revolution is the final conclusion, the real solution, by establishing what must be. And until we establish what must be, we cannot abolish what we see based on the traditional sins of the fathers of the Confederate flag and the red, white, and blue. Why is that so important? Because for the first time in the history of the planet Earth, you'll see that the whole earth is under lockdown. It's under a threat to attack its own people if they do not submit to these draconian measures under a so-called virus. But is that true, or is it the fake me out? We say it's the fake me out. But here's where the bloodless revolution takes place. In the city of Wilmington, the first state is Delaware, and something unprecedented happened in Delaware just a couple of days ago, and this is what I told Joe Gibson earlier, and why he agreed. Yeah, let's have this programming, though. We had a multitude of people marching at the capitals with guns in their hands, and the police, the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, the National Guard never attacked those people. It started in North Carolina, Virginia, and what have you, but Michigan, and it traveled all over this country, and it's still growing. Yet, do you know that Wilmington is 75% black or Latino? And just the other day, in the Wilmington's capital, where the selected officials sit, on one corner you have the city council, which represents the city of Wilmington, and on the other corner you have the state legislature that represents the state of Delaware in the city of Wilmington. Notice what I just said. On one corner, it's not the state capital. The state capital is Dover for Delaware, but in the city of Wilmington, the city council that represents the city of Wilmington, its legislature, is on one corner, that's 8th Street, and on 9th Street is the state legislature. Do you know, just a couple of days ago, over 50 white armed militia surrounded the state Carvo building in Wilmington, Delaware. And in a city where 75% of the people are black, there was not a black person with a weapon in their hand in solidarity with that Second Amendment militia. And why is that so important? If you look at this thing called quarantine and lockdown, Raheem, Jose, Junebug, and the leader, the Crips and Bloods, the Ku Klux Klan, and the Black Panthers, they're all under lockdown. But isn't it extraordinary that when the white militia marches on the capitals, that they did not alert the old Black Panthers, the new Black Panthers, the Huey Newton Gun Club, the Crips and Bloods, those who want the guns in their hand? We did not coordinate collectively together, because when they march on the capitals, I'm talking about those white militia, whoever they are, And that's okay. That's okay. I agree with him. But what I don't agree with is the fact that there was no intelligence that alerted Mandelkuan, Malik Zulu Shabazz, Hanifa Shabazz, or Shashala Shakur and the Black Panthers say, look, we need y'all and y'all need us. And Mandela, we heard you on the class action 567. We, the white militia, we don't have the power to arrest them without you. But guess who does? The matriarch, Mandelkuan, and the red, black, and green on the class action 567. Why is that so important? It's because divided we stand, together we all fall, as relates to liberty, freedom, justice, total independence, as relates to sovereignty, integrity, and dignity of the other nations, as we authorize the Constitution, the Bible in this country. When it comes to the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, no matter what color they are, according to Uncle Scam, they don't give a damn about the integrity, dignity, sovereignty, and independence of the other nations. How can we prove that? Because we would not tolerate for no foreign nation to have bases and army and marines inside of our country. We will not tolerate for no one in this thing called United States of America to invade us, to drop bombs on us without us unleashing all of our fury at those who came in here, right? But yet, as we barbecue our ribs and our pork chops, and then we ready to, in another 35 more days, we say, well, look, we get ready to celebrate the 4th of July, Mandelkuan. We celebrate the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights, the Constitution. Oh, yeah? Are you? With your mask on? With your forced quarantine? With your forced stay 6 feet from each other, whether you're black, brown, red, yellow, white, old, young, gay, straight, light? How are you here to tell me that y'all get ready to cook some more barbecue on the 4th of July and celebrate some independence when you see in the sign of the times in which we live going down at the moment? Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. And the reason why I bring that up is because kill or be killed from the Genesis is the main entree on the table right now. If we, the people, by the people, for the people, do not get a symbol, a rally point to get out of our seat, on our feet, into the streets in a multitude, hundreds of millions of people, to shut this nation down and have a transition of power in the first 48 hours to arrest these tyrants, then why are we here today as we prepare for the 4th of July, Independence Day, right? And then when y'all got your mask on, when y'all being forced in the quarantine, exile, small businesses, common folk are being attacked at the drop of a hat, and you want to, like today, cook your barbecue, you want some fireworks, and you think on the 4th of July that y'all going to just spend hundreds and thousands of dollars with firecrackers, and then on the 5th and 6th of July, and by the way, the 4th of July comes on a Saturday. Can you imagine and envision if the Huey Newton Gun Club, the Black Panthers, if the Ku Klux Klan, if the white militia, if Raheem Jose Jumbo, everybody got a weapon? Can you imagine and envision on a Monday, which is the 6th of July this year? Can you imagine and envision what would happen if we got on our smartphones, on our laptops, on our notebooks, and our Facebook, our Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and say on the 6th of July, and we know that they're all going to come to work on Monday, every criminal, every tyrant, every one who is violating the sovereignty and integrity and dignity of we the people in this country and the rest of the world, they will come to work on Monday, the 6th of July. But I know that many of you, unless you heard my voice, on the 4th of July, which is on a Saturday, y'all going to be done spent by, June 28th, 7th to the 4th of July. Y'all going to spend millions and millions and millions of dollars trying to prepare for the day of independence and then try to rush to the fireworks. What kind of people are we? All power to the people, no power to the people. Now, finally, I want to bring this up because I'm only here to help you remember what you forgot or what you don't want to recognize. And I know there's a multitude of people. I need you who never spoke in TRS, who never spoke in Understanding Times of Which We Live, who never spoke in Crash Jesus Sinister Radio, in the Sound of Times we live in today. I want you to push one. And if you have spoke in the Sound of Times you live in today, tonight it's about Memorial Day. It's about freedom, justice, and total independence for everybody, or freedom, justice, and total independence for nobody. And when you come in, since I'm the partner in time with Joe Gibson, if you come in with some of that fuckery, Joe, you're not to spend not 1 minute with none of that. You're to spend every 2 hours tonight, and we're going to announce the Zoom room after you go off. We're going to announce everybody to come into the Zoom room tonight. But right now, we want everybody who never spoke, who's hearing roar, 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 the conquering Lion of Judah, the voodoo child, the bloodless revolution. We didn't vote, pray, shoot, or go to school our way into this. And you're not going to come today and say good cop, bad cop, Democrat, Republican, Biden or Trump. Well, we're going to stay in hell no matter what choice we make. Now it's all power to the people, no power to the people. So finally, I'm going to say this before we open up some lines, because I know, Joe, and I ain't going to take my whole 30 minutes. I know we have a multitude of people, and all the people. Push one, and we all need each other now, and this is not my voice. This is based on what we see going down at the moment. And I demand, this is not a request, that everyone on racism, bias, and prejudice who want to divide, separate, take away, punch your own eyes out and become like Helen Keller, Jose Feliciano, Ray Charles, and Stevie Wonder. In order for us to get out of this, all power to the people. That means that everybody that we can bring together, no matter what they look like, we got to bring them together, because that's the transition of power, of all power to the people, no power to the people. So without further ado, I'm going to put this last little segment in here, the black holes. The black holes. I held this away from everybody for the last 8 years. Trash Jesus Sinister, Tyrone, Pinocchio, Shabaka, Joe, Johnson. I held this away from you. The black holes. Here's what I can prove. 666, the original carbon DNA. The original protons and neutrons and electrons. Here's why the Matriarch has everything under control. The black holes. If you look at the flat earth or the round earth, everyone has to return to the black holes. That's the genesis. The black holes. Mandela, what's the black holes? There are universes of universes. The universe of universes is the black holes, the creator. All the stars, the many moons, the many suns, the many planets was produced by the black holes. The black holes. And then when you go to Mother Universe, Mother Uterus, the black hole of life that produced all black men and white men, the black hole. That's in solidarity with the universe. And when you look at Mother Earth, the dark earth, the rich soil, 666, the original DNA carbon, the oxyribonucleic acid that produces all life, the black hole of Mother Earth. And when you go to the black hole of Mother Africa, the dark Mother Africa, this shithole country. But Africa is a United States of Africa with a multitude of life-giving sustenance from what? North, South, East, West Africa. The continent of Africa is the lifeline of capitalism based on imperialism and this thing that I call so-called white power. Why do I say so-called white power? Because even the African presidents don't control the resources that's under Mother Africa and the dark land from the equator, from Ethiopia to this thing in North Africa called Israel. And finally, the Mother Nature. I said Mother Universe, Mother Universe, Mother Uterus, Mother Earth, Mother Africa. Now let me get into Mother Nature. when Mother Nature brings her wrath. It's not a sunny day of 70, 80, 90 degrees. When Mother Nature brings her wrath, she brings blood and death and destruction to everyone that did not submit to live and let live in one love. What I'm saying is, in this revolutionary revelation, the final decision is that live and let live, the real authority, the proper administrations to control Mother Earth's precious resources is not Bitcoin. It's not the IMF, the World Bank. It's not the Federal Reserve. The proper administrations and authority to appropriate and allocate all commodities and resources from pennies, $100 bills, to banks, to gold, diamond, silver, oil, to adrenochrome, the number one commodity on the planet that's sucked out of the pineal glands of frightened children that's running for their life as children are hunted because that costs $1 million per gram. Adrenochrome. And children are hunted and sought more than any commodity on the goddamn planet. And I can prove what I'm saying. But we want to talk about the melanin, the pineal gland, and what have you. Melanin is the next precious commodity. Not gold, diamond, silver, and oil. It's melanin. And then when we go to Mother Earth produces all of that which everyone is lying, stealing, killing, and fighting for control. There is no gun control. There is no birth control, crowd control, or people control. All life deserves sovereignty, integrity, dignity, independence, freedom, justice, and they are to go unhindered, unfettered, east, west, north, and south, unrestricted, with no mask on, because we've been sick all of our lives. We've had diseases. We've had a pestilence. We had smallpox. We had syphilis. We had cancer. We had H1N1, the bird flu, fly flu, and what have you. But here's the extraordinary that today, at a time we live in today, that you're not recognizing the sovereignty, integrity, dignity, and independence that we all deserve. But divided we stand, together we all fall. So what we need now is a rally point to bring quickly as we can, as many people as we can, to stand together and be ready to march the hordes on the capitals and arrest these tyrants. And they must serve life in prison without the possibility of parole. And all budgets, appropriations, and allocations must be turned back to the hands of the stolen legacy. Not black or white, but wrong versus right. It was wrong for he got the whole world in his hands. It was wrong for Atlas to say he got the whole world on his shoulders. He does not have that power and authority. The only proper administration authority.
Hey, Mandelkuan, just to let you know, you got a couple minutes left here, but I do have some questions there that people emailed. And then remember, anyone who wants to call in, 573830616, press the number 1. And it doesn't have to be on topic, but, you know, it's up to you, whatever you want to talk about. Go ahead, Mandelkuan, a couple minutes left.
Okay, I'll tell you what. If you do have some questions, let me say this. If you are not here to recognize the sign of times we live in today, no one has the qualifications to vet, question, or interrogate what I'm bringing forth down according to the sign of times which we live in today. I don't know your reason for being here on Mother Earth, and I'm not going to justify mine. But you and I both know that none of us will ever be heard on FCC, radio, TV, 1063, Fox, Henry, and Cologne. The only way we will ever be heard is in social media, on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And without that, don't you see? This is the greatest time to interact while we got time. But the fact of the matter is that none of us are right until we get what? Liberty, freedom, justice, and total independence. So I'm putting her case on the table, and I only want to hear from those who want to add, multiply, so we can come and see the great. If you're here to take away, separate, and divide, I'm not going to interject nothing you question me about. I'm not going to even add one sentence to any negativity. Negative vibrations, I give no power over the people. Positive vibrations, I give all listening ears. So if someone wants to come on and talk for 5 minutes or whatever, bring something to the table that adds people together, I'll be a humble servant. But if you come on and try to make me the bad guy, the boogeyman you want to slander, And if you want to character assassinate and kill the messenger, the hell with the message, I will make you swallow your phone. So be careful when you come in into this sector. So
we don't want any confrontation. We don't want any confrontation, that's for sure. We don't want to take away with arguing and everything like that. And please keep your language clean. All right, first caller, let's go 925. Go ahead, 925.
Greetings.
Hello.
Can you all hear me? Yes, can you all hear me
we can
clearly?
hear you just fine. How you doing?
Okay,
Friendly
doing just
voice.
fine. This is Akshita Veda. How are you doing?
Well, me, we'll have to talk in private about that. I'm not doing too well actually because I've been addressed and my radio show has been we'll talk about that in private. I don't want to really talk about the case anymore, but not too good obviously.
Okay, I would like to talk to you offline at a later time and date. But and Mandelkuan, greetings, high heaven to you.
Yes, Mother. Everything is on course, like I told you 3 years ago, and we're on course for something spectacular under the Matriarch.
Absolutely, and this is what I want to come on and speak on. You know, as usual, I am in representation of the Matriarch. I bring forth agape love and wisdom, which is all love and all wisdom, and there are no judgment. There's no barrier. There are no limitations. There are no restrictions in how you give and receive love around me or those that I associate with. So the point in which I'm saying is unity is what is needed for the people right now, and it's the division that's killing the vision of unity. It's killing the vision of our liberation. I made a post today or the other day in reference to the changes that are going on in the comment which was made that the people are not black, and the uproar that some people are having and the confusion of who they are. And so it's funny how they will come on public television and make a comment or statement which is true and watch the people basically deny what's true. So then that gives them every single right to continue to go through with their plan and their actions. And so this is where I'm understanding SOAP more often. Mandelkuan speaks about SOAP, which is staged, orchestrated, activated, and presented circumstances within a society and environment. It comes in all different levels. You can't just look at it like we're just talking about it from this perspective, but when you're looking at things from an individual perspective and a self perspective, you got to understand how people around you will use methods of SOAP on you. They will stage, they will orchestrate, they will activate and present a certain situation to trap you for whatever their benefit is, however it's going to benefit them. So this is what the government is doing. If you can take things and bring it to a personal level, then it's easier to see things on a larger scale when you really understand. That's just like when you learn a concept, you can apply that concept in multiple situations and circumstances. It's not only applied to one thing. So I wanted to come on tonight and speak about the sexual revolution a little bit, because there's a lot of confusion about what it is still. And so I wrote a book. The book is titled Total Recall.
Please promote that book. Promote that book and tell people where they can get that book also. I'm glad you did that. Please do that.
Okay, so the book, you can email me at totalrecallem@gmail.com. And if you're interested in the book, and the book is all about unity. It's all about building a community and knowing yourself in your diplomatic sovereignty, and also not introducing, but giving my perspective and intake on what I understand about the Matriarch, pain, and Class Action 567. There's also information in there on the stages of womanhood as you see yourself and elevate within your own situation. There's a guide there where women can go and say, okay, well, I do fit into this, and this is about where I am, and it gives you, there's more. It's a summarization of a lot of information to introduce what I'm bringing forth to the people, because I'm invested in advocacy for justice and freedom and total independence. So the book has a lot of that type of information and a lot about what we speak on, which is peace and love and live and let live and come out of the hate and into the love and more positive. So it's really just an introduction. I'm working on another book right now, and so this coming book, will go into more detail as we move forward together in unity. So that's what Total Recall is all about. And the sexual revolution is in there. And so the sexual revolution, let me just say this real quick. The sexual revolution is all about not allowing your sexual energy to dictate your life decisions.
They want. I got some people in the chat room. Just not to interrupt you. I know you're trying to explain.
No,
sorry,
go ahead.
I apologize. But some people want your email
good
again.
Point.
Some people want your email
no
again
problem.
to get your book.
Okay, well, thank you. It's Total Recall EM. I'll spell that out. That's TOTALRECALLEM@gmail.com. So please, yeah.
Yeah, if not, you can send it to me in the chat room and I'll post it. On private message, and I'll post it in the chat room in case they didn't get it. But go ahead, carry on, please.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'll do that as well. Thank you. But the sexual revolution is about taking control of you, being in control of you. A lot of times what we don't realize in this physical experience is that we are energy, and our energy ties into other energy that we allow into our realm of existence. And so when you're dealing with sexual energy, it's one of the most creative powers that we can produce, because from the sexual energy, life is created. So no other way is life created naturally unless sexual energy is being fulfilled. So if reproduction is not happening and no creativity is happening, almost in essence like your soul is being sucked out of your body and someone else takes control of your pattern of thinking, your behaviors, and everything else. And these are a lot of the symptoms of dependency and codependency. And so we need to take control of that. And now I haven't been studying what's going on in the cosmos and all that with this energy and sexual energy and the tension that's in the air, but this is the time right now to reserve yourself and to hone in on that energy and create, to produce those things that you want to see. This is the time of instant manifestation. Whatever you want, you can have it right now, as long as you can see it and you're not allowing someone to block that energy. And so it's important that we understand that. So I just wanted to share that, and if anyone has any questions about that, I'll be willing to elaborate on a specific question or even have some dialogue about it, and we can build upon, what you're understanding about this sexual energy and help me understand what I may not understand based on what I have already spoken. So, Joe, I appreciate you allowing me to speak on the show and share information.
If I may, let me just add this.
We do have the information age. The information age is disinformation age, and the problem is that everyone's attacking each other over the information because everyone thinks they're right.
Right.
When in fact, most people, all of us, are probably wrong. You know.
If I may, according to that point that was just made about the sexual revolution, let me bring it right back to the total recall of the matriarch, the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers across the planet, no matter if she's black, brown, red, yellow, white, old, young, gay, straight, like. The reason why the red, black, and green entered that into the equation is because all women has been made under the Masonic patriarch to be second-class citizens. What that means is that a man can do what he wants to with his penis, but if you as a woman try to duplicate what a man has done, you will be labeled a whore, a bitch, or get your ass beat. Why? Because men, they are a rolling stone. And wherever he lays his hat is his home. And women has been forced under religion, under God and country, to submit her sexual proclivity to equal a man. She has been forbidden under the patriarch. And the reason why I added the sexual revolution to the discourse is because women all around the world are saying, I don't need a man. And she really don't. A man is supposed to be there to serve, protect, defend, and build. That's his only requirement. If a man is not there to serve, protect, defend, and build on behalf of the women, the children, and old folks, he is a war criminal. Why? Because figures don't lie and lies don't figure. It's a mathematical equation. Who is the most majority people on the planet Earth? It's women. And then with the children and the old folks, that's the super majority. But yet today, a man, if he's a Hebrew Israelite, more Muslim or Christian, he will lie to my mother, my grandmother, and great-grandmother and say, baby, I love you and only you. I'm going to put this ring on your finger. And until death do us part, it's me and you, and I will not betray you. But if we go back into history, all the men lied to the mothers and forced them to be their one and only. And if they didn't, then they would end up in child protective services, fleeing for their life, or getting a restraining order, or they on for my man or for my woman for the first 48 hours. Because if a man decides that a woman has used her sexual or her uterus to feed herself and her family to the best of her equivalency, most men will burn her at the stake. That's why I entered into the sexual revolution for this reason alone. Men are the minority on Mother Earth. Men are the real minority. And if a man can go east, west, north, and south and plant his seed in any uterus, and then he'll leave the original woman and go with the second woman or third woman and honor that second or third woman's children and then abandon his original children. My father, my grandfather, and great-grandfather did that. And that is why I'm exposing that and bringing it to the fore that if a man can be in a polygamous relationship, even if he don't honor that contract out of Utah and the Mormons, then a woman has a right to polyandry. So she may need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 men to build her empire. Where a man,
hey, Mandelkuan, give out the Zoom room there that you want everyone to listen to also. Give the Zoom contact out there that you were promoting earlier.
Let me put this out here because we have several Zoom rooms, but we want to bring this back to where we started this thing with John Song. And that is the Zoom room tonight. Download the app if you got Zoom. If you don't, download the app of Zoom. And then come into the meeting room tonight after Joe Gibson goes off. And the meeting room access number is 931-487-5206. That's 931-487-5206. 9206. Now, the access code is 121212. You can join the meeting by pushing 121212. But the first thing is to download the app. And this Zoom room is only a organizing committee on behalf of the whole. It's the central committee, the organizing committee of Committee of One on behalf of the Committee of Whole. If you hear my voice or any other voice, we only here as a Committee of One to organize the people in place, and we need a multitude of people because we have other Zoom rooms where there are 50, 60, 70 people, and the whole Zoom room is ran in so much dignity, respect, and honor, and you hear from everyone if it's 60 people or if it's 45 people, which I was on with the other night.
And you can go on camera, too. You can make yourself known on camera. How about that, huh?
Absolutely. And second thing is that in this Zoom room, the most that we ever had was at the height after 6 months was 20 people. But we have the access to bring in hundreds, and then we can affect millions as we let the people know that we organize in place in your Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, in your friends list. And that's what we do. We're here organizing the people in place until we get the accumulative numbers to where the bloodless revolution of the matriarch can take place, and we're at the right place at the right time. So I know we have some more people on the line, and I appreciate that, but I wanted to bring the sexual revolution to the
well, they need to press 1. Whoever wants to speak now, we open up the phone lines to everybody. I mean, we don't have to do the whole show like we always do and run into overtime because I know you got the Zoom conference to go to. But everyone there who has to press 1 that has anything of substance to offer to the podcast, they're more than welcome to. And the phone number is 657-383-0616. And again, you can private message Archiveda or me if you want a copy of her book. I've read most of it, pretty good. And, she gives information out there that, is very relevant to the times in which we live today. So you should check it out. And maybe one day in the future, maybe we'll do a show just totally about her book and go into detail of it, and word for word, and maybe she can explain it. Because, sometimes when you read a book, it needs to be explained to people, because the author there is just putting down in words on paper what they're trying to say, and a lot of people don't understand what that person's trying to say. So I think that would be a good idea in the future. But Mandelkuan, you do have the floor, and we don't have to go the full show here tonight. I'm going to keep the boneheads out tonight. The moonbats, obviously, that are trying to bombard the show like they always do. I'm keeping them out, so that's why I'm a little sidetracked here. But like I said, 657-383-0616. Press number 1, and I'll get you on live, and you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. But Mandelkuan, the time is yours. This is your show, so you do whatever you want to do. So the floor is yours.
So, Joe, are you telling me, if you look at your screen, that there's not...
I've got a bunch of callers. But not many of them are pressing 1. I've got the usual crank callers that I've already booted off the show. I was doing that while Archiveda was talking. I booted about 20 of them off. I don't know if there's anyone else on there that wants to jump in here, or maybe they can't get in. I don't know.
Let me ask you this. Are there numbers that, not the private callers, but are there numbers where you can see numbers that you don't recognize?
Yeah, I see a bunch of them, but I can't connect them unless, they press the number 1. So
if you want to, you can. If you want to, you can. You can open up that line.
Well, give me the area code then. Give me the area code if you want.
If any new number that's on the line that hasn't pushed 1, he's going to announce your area code, and if that's your area code, that's you. And I know you're listening. There may not be a multitude, but I know there's a plethora of you listening because you got the commercial. And I know.
Well, we did put the show together rather quickly, so we did catch a lot of people off guard. And one person saying in the chat room that the 931 number for the Zoom is invalid. Why does it say invalid? 931-487-9206.
I said 5206.
Because there's no Zoom conference going on?
I said 5206.
5206. It's 931-487-5206. Everyone. All right, there you go.
121212 access code.
Yeah, we got that cleared up right there. So, Blog Talk's taking a big hit lately. Blog Talk Radio has taken a big hit lately because, a lot of people are steering away from it because of the spam callers that call in and they're just hacking everybody's personal information, and
okay, Joe, let me bring that to you. Now, that's because of the producer. Let me tell you. Now, your program is called Understand the Times We Live in Today. Now, if you have someone who's engaging, talking about eat a dick, shoot him in the dick, or whatever, or if you have someone that comes on and says, I want to play with little children or whatever, that is supposed to get 10 seconds and bang, and no response.
No, I agree.
Right?
I agree with that. That has been a problem over the years with Blog Talk Radio.
Right. Because you engage, Joe. You engage with these counterproductive revolutionaries who come in to antagonize, to create mischief, mayhem, chaos, and confusion. Now, if I'm hosting a program or producing a program, I want everyone to call, black, brown, red, yellow, and white. Old, young, gay, straight, like, I want to hear what you got to say. But if you go off course with some of this proclivity to create chaos, confusion,
I did reach out to Black Jesus Minister. I did reach out to him and see if he was available here tonight. If he wanted to just check in. I mean, I know you two don't get along, but at least you can have a conversation with each other. I did reach out to him, and he might be doing his TV show tonight. So I don't, like I said, I put together the show rather quickly. So it was a little difficult there for me,
Only you and I know that you put it together quickly because you wasn't going to have no show before I called your private number. You wasn't going to have no program tonight. Yeah. And because I remind you of Memorial Day. Now, let me just bring this up to all the veterans because I see the vid is a 12-year veteran. I don't know how long you've been in.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I do know you have a plethora of people who always talk about from Mark and everybody. I've been in the military, I'm in the CIA, the FBI. But let me say this to you. What did you think you were serving, and whose memorial do you think that I'm going to honor? Because I tell you all, if you went outside this country to attack another nation, you were a war criminal. And I do not honor your Memorial Day because you may get $50,000 for college or a GI Bill, but your contract is with the liberty, sovereignty, integrity, dignity, and independence. What in the hell did y'all get on these aircraft carriers, these tanks, these F-16s, on these submarines, on these Black Hawk helicopters? What did y'all do to go outside this country and violate the other nation's dignity, sovereignty, integrity, and independence? That's why I don't honor you veterans as some patriots.
Well, I mean, look, you got to remember they're obeying their government. Their government is called upon their service. I mean, when you join up to serve, you're there to serve. You can't say I pick and choose what war I want to fight in. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's up to the people that elect these politicians that pick these wars to fight in. It's not. You can't put the blame on the soldier or the men and women out there that are in uniform.
Okay. I'm putting the blame on what we know as law, the sovereignty, integrity, dignity, and independence of this Constitution. And you can't tell me, Joe, that someone is going to say, look, Mandela, and make the news on Fox, Hannington, look, there's a boogeyman, the bad guy, the warlord, all over the planet, and we got to go kill them and their people so that we can be free. Do you realize what you actually participating in? When we look at today, May Day 2020, what did we actually win? We've won ourselves in the times we live in today where if we don't stop this World War III under genocide atrocities and genocide and war crimes, nobody's going to win if we engage in trying to kill to see who's going to win. Nobody is going to win. So whatever was done under the Memorial Day as y'all cook your ribs, your pork chops, and hot dogs and everything, we know that 35 more days y'all going to try to cook some more hamburger and shit and some fireworks and talk about, well, this is the day of independence. But isn't it extraordinary on this May Day? We can prove that there is no one that has liberty, sovereignty, integrity, dignity, and independence because we all got masks on, Joe Gibson.
Yeah. I mean, it's Memorial Day. I mean, we all got masks on, but I don't know. I mean, I'm here. I'm just producing the show here tonight. It's your show. I mean, I don't want to get into any debates or quarrels with anyone who's calling in. I mean, Archiveda, she was served in the military. I mean, what's her take on
12
that?
years.
12 years she served, actually. So.
Yep, 12 years. I served in the Army.
And what was your take on that, serving in the Army? Did you face bias as a woman or discrimination based upon your color, or what was it like? Can you give any insight? Did you feel uncomfortable, or are you proud to serve? I mean, just what was your take as being knowledgeable and being someone that's a great person in society today in this country? What was your take on that when you were younger serving?
Okay, I grew up in the military. I went in when I was 19 years old, and
wow.
I learned a lot.
Good for you.
Yeah, when I went to basic training, I was one of the first. I was the first group. I was with the first group of females that were ever accepted on the training base at Fort Sill, Oklahoma. So before then, there were no females on that training base. And so I was the first class of female graduates.
So you suffered a lot of discrimination, basically, and a lot of heckling, and I'm sure men taking advantage of women, and women couldn't do anything about it. So I'm sure you witnessed a lot of that.
There was some foul play with the drill sergeants and some of the female soldiers. Also, the female drill sergeants were some of the hardest ones to deal with because they were drilled so hard. They had something to prove, especially if they were black females. I had Drill Sergeant Bethel. She was small frame, and she was a black female, and she was one of the toughest women I have ever come across. And to this day, I still remember her name.
But she had to be. If she showed any weakness, she had to be tough.
Right. So with that, yes, there was a lot of issues of discrimination based on gender. For the PT test, for instance, the way we were taped and measured.
And all callers that are queuing in, I will get to you. I will get the callers that press the number one. Just be patient, please. Go ahead, Archiveda. Go ahead.
The physical fitness part of it for training, our scales were different. Male scales and the female scale was different. The way we were taped and measured across our body is different. Naturally, a woman has a small neck and small waist and small forearm and larger hips, and these are the areas that they taped us. And so I would almost max out my PT test. You have to get 300 points on the PT test. One of my highest scores was 287, and they flagged me for being overweight.
Oh, my Lord.
So, so no matter how...
And you were nowhere near overweight. It was just measuring your natural parts of your body that just obviously are there, and, you just weren't overweight, though, right?
Right, and so I couldn't change the way my body frame is, but based on the military standards, you have to be a certain standard. And so the standards that they have for weight class is not fair. Because we're obviously, we come from different cultures, and our bodies are, not culture, but just our bodies are shaped differently. We're not shaped the same. So whoever was their first model to judge a body weight off of is totally wrong. It's not normal. It's human.
Yeah, right? I'd like to know who their first model was. Yeah, you got that right. What was their first model that they designed this off of? And how did they go about the success on that rate? Because, there's people of smaller frame, medium frame, large frame that could probably do a lot more than the first model that they had.
Exactly. So there was a lot. We had to push ourselves a little bit harder. We couldn't be hurt. I ran on shin splints for almost all of basic training. So I ran through a lot of discomfort because I didn't want to seem like I was weak. I didn't want to fall behind. I didn't want to fail, and I wasn't going to stay and redo it all over again. That just wasn't an option for me. So I had to push myself. That was just a personal thing. But then on top of my own personal challenge, I was challenged by them because the Army basic training will break you down. You become a baby all over again. You become a baby in the Army. And then they begin to raise you and program you to what you should be as a soldier. You're not a civilian. You are a soldier. You don't think like a civilian. You don't act like a civilian. You don't dress like a civilian. You don't live like a civilian. You are not a civilian. You have to learn how to be in a community and a society within a community and society.
I wonder if that's healthy. I got some other callers here, but I want to ask that question. I want you to think about that. Now, how do you readapt, go back to living civilian life? I want you to analyze that because, that's not healthy for women out there who are naturally just women that don't want to be a combat soldier, and so how do you adapt back into society or our culture that you want to call it? And there we go. Now we got the clash of the titans. We got the clash of the people. We got these people that were military brand, like you. You get out there, now you're an office woman, or just say you want to be a secretary or whatever. Well, you're a soldier. You're the general of the office. You're not a secretary. You ain't going to get nobody no damn coffee. You're different. But there's nothing wrong with that. What I'm trying to say is that you get that clash now. And that's where society becomes all screwed up.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
Let me take another caller and see what happens here. 786. Go ahead. Go ahead, 786. No, yes, no, yes, 786. Area code 786. You want to speak or not? Okay, guess not. 786 doesn't want to speak. Maybe we got off topic, that the realm that they wanted to talk on. Who knows? Sometimes people call in and they get uncomfortable. They get a little uncomfortable about what we're talking about, and they don't want to change the subject. Look, it's open phones. You can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'll give you another shot. 786 if you want to say something. Go ahead. 786. No. All right. I unmuted you twice. So, again, the phone number is 657-383-0616. How does that affect our society, Mandelkuan or Archiveda? I mean, she just said how she had to be broken down to think like the military, act like a soldier. She spent 12 years in the military. We've had a lot of veterans on this show, and I wish they'd all come back and cue in on this topic. We did a show actually years ago about women in arms. What women in arms, what that really means. And a lot of soldiers called in and put down the women. They're like, no, women don't have no business whatsoever, being in that battlefield. And then we had others saying, well, yes, they do, because some women could fight harder and stronger than some of the men. So, but, you get to that clash of the titan, you get that clash of genders, that clash of races, the clash of people. Are we better off in America, this melting pot, this experiment of having all kinds of different people, and even now the military, breeding out these different types of people? And maybe that's why our society is so broken, because we don't have one uniform type of culture. Is that it? Right. I don't know. Or go ahead, Archiveda.
Yeah, it absolutely. And that's a lot of my problem, is because so many people are like everywhere. There's no organization, and it just like it freaking bothers me. Like, okay, why no one has any type of, okay, this group over here is doing that, talk about that, okay, that's good stuff, y'all doing good. This group over here, that's good. It's about 5-10 churches on one street, and none of them ever come together and do anything together. That's the point I'm talking about. Right. If there's organizations here and they got their own thing, and there's this one over here, they got their own thing. But if everybody come together like members on one hand, you get what I'm saying? One hand has different members to it within it. But the
problem is we're taught not to do that. And you know what? In a way, it's kind of natural. In a way, you kind of want to be around the people that you know and feel comfortable with. Like, for instance, just say me and Mandelkuan, we get along. We get along and we go along to get along. But at the same time, we're different people, so therefore we cannot really be in the same, we're not going to break bread at Thanksgiving Day dinner because all the other people around us are not going to allow it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So there we get the conflict.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Hold on. I got to interject between you and her.
Please.
You and me, we never.
I'm not saying we agree with it, Mandelkuan. We're just saying that's
no,
the way
hold
it
on.
is.
Here's what I'm saying. You said Thanksgiving Day, but here's where the European holidays in the middle of genocide.
I'm just using
And I'm
that as
glad
an
you said
example.
that. I'm just glad you said that. You and me will never sit on a Thanksgiving dinner because I know what Thanksgiving really represented, right? So there's no damn way that I'm going to sit at a dinner with you and celebrate Memorial Day, 4th of July, Christmas, Easter, or Thanksgiving because I
use it as a synopsis, a way of breaking things, like a way of just saying, hey, just as an example, yeah, we know that, but I'm just saying that, but society doesn't know that, though, Mandelkuan. Society doesn't.
Okay.
They're trying to say, no, you're supposed to, otherwise you're in big trouble, buddy boy, and you may lose your job, Mandelkuan. You're not in the right neighborhood for that. You're not in the right clique for that. You're not, you know what I mean? And that's where I'm getting to. We have to break down the moral fabric of our America.
But here's what I'm getting to, because you're looking at the micro view. I want you to look at the bigger picture on behalf of the macro view. And holidays. Are they holidays, H-O-L-L-E-R? After those days are over, we're going to holler? Or are they holidays? The only holiday that's worth celebrating is liberty, freedom, justice, and total independence. Not my birthday. My birthday don't mean a damn thing because I only have one birthday and I'm 70 years old. So every 365, I'll be a damn fool to say, look, this is my birthday. No, it's not. You only have one birthday. And there's only one day for not African Liberation Day, but African Liberation Way. That's when we can produce physically on the ground freedom, justice, total independence, and sovereignty, and liberty for everybody, or there'll be no freedom, justice, total independence for nobody. So all those holidays that y'all say, well, let's celebrate President's Day, let's celebrate Easter. Hell no. There's no way.
Remember, hang on a second, Mandelkuan. We celebrate the holidays here because that's our country, and that's what they're saying. Now, over in Belgium, they may celebrate another different day, whatever have you, because of the people over there. Every country has different holidays. Christmas isn't a worldwide thing. I'm sure in Africa or Australia, they're not saying Santa Claus is coming to town. I don't know. I've never been there during Christmas time. I don't know. But does anyone know about that? I mean, I know Christmas is a big thing.
Now, let me add this to the equation. Because of Memorial
I know in
Day
Egypt they're not celebrating Jesus' birth. So
okay, let me add this to the equation because of I call them fondling, but you call them founding. I would be a damn fool to celebrate the founding fathers, knowing that they didn't find a damn thing but free people. And so, if I'm here to celebrate the founding fathers' creation and their constitution, I put in absentee and idle. I put null and void my own sovereignty, integrity, and dignity and independence. So there's no way that me in my conscious mind could celebrate the documents and the legality that the founding fathers that you call founding fathers.
Well, how about this, Mandelkuan? The people breaking down barriers is, say, for instance, let's just say me, for instance, say I want to hook up with a woman from Egypt, and she's against Jesus Christ. She's a Muslim, but I'm an American and I'm a Christian. How does that work? We're talking about that now with the military. We're talking about that. How does that work now? You're having integration here of people that don't agree with each other. So therefore, the foundations that we're building upon are built of sand.
That goes to the victor goes the spoils, and we know that every army from America that trespassed on the holy lands of other people, they had sex with the women. Vietnam, everywhere else.
Not all.
Okay.
Some.
Okay.
Can't say all.
We are a mixed up society because of rape, and because of rape, we're not all black. We're not all white.
It's true.
We're wrong versus right, and the difference is that many of the women did not ask to integrate her vagina with your penis, but you forced it on her, and out of that came what we call, some of y'all might call it, mixed children. We're all mixed up right now.
What about the women that want to, though? What about the women that want to?
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
Women that want to.
Love does not have no black or white color. Love does not have no Big eye, you. Love
is
is
love, or is it the government programming people to do what they're doing?
Yeah.
Is it love?
Yeah, it's programmed.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's programmed.
No,
exactly.
It's programmed.
Yes, I agree with you. Yes.
And when you begin to act in your natural responses, that's not a program. When you feel the need to explain why, or no, not when you feel the need. When people feel the need for you to explain why you've made decisions in your life, that's when you're doing something that is not of the norm, because it's being questioned. If it's not being questioned, then that means you're doing what everybody else is doing. So I got all these questions coming my way. That means I'm doing something right. If you ain't asking me nothing, I ain't doing nothing that you want to know about.
If the world don't like you, if the world doesn't approve of what you're doing, then you must be doing something right.
Exactly, because everybody is programmed to do certain things, and anything that wasn't programmed is questionable, and something about it isn't right.
Yeah. So how do we know what is wrong or what is right then? How do we know? In our conscience, in our soul, what is right, if we're happy?
Well, when you begin to delve into yourself and dig deeper into who you are, and you acknowledge what you like and what you don't like, not what was put in front of you. But when you know that you have options, that you are limitless, that there are no limits to your options, actually create a new way if you see no way that's good for you. You just got to take the time to gather all the tools and equipment to build or to create what it is that way. But that's where you become yourself, when you begin to create your own way out of something, or away from, or more into yourself. When you begin to create ways into yourself and not outside of yourself, then you're doing something different. See, it ain't about what everybody else is doing. It's about what you're doing.
Different, but the people around us and the government doesn't approve of it. So now what? Now we're the black sheep of society. So therefore, now we have conflict. Now we're going to go with the people that say, yes, it's okay, but the majority of the people on the other side say it's not okay. So therefore, what happens? Now we've got war. We've got conflict.
No.
So is that right?
You don't have to have war. You don't have to have war, and you don't have to have conflict. But you can, yes, defend yourself, yes, but don't go looking for the fight, and don't make yourself always visible for the fight to find you. So, therefore, you're minding your own business, doing your own thing, and you're out the way of everybody else. They're looking for you, but they can't find you. So, what I'm saying is, the silence is sometimes the measure in which will save your life.
Yeah, sometimes not be. Yeah, okay, I can agree with that. People may not understand what we're talking about here, but we opened up with the military, actually. An Archiveda here, 12-year veteran of the United States Army, how she was broken down into believing a certain way and system of thinking and living, but then she's back now into society, and, hey, this isn't what society says and it approves of. So therefore, now we have what? We have conflict within maybe your own family, maybe in your own neighborhood, maybe in your own city, maybe in your own state, maybe with the way the government preaches and teaches that you should think.
You have conflict. The first conflict you have is with yourself, because you have, and this is what I had an issue with when I got out of the military. My conflict was with self, because I didn't identify. I didn't know who the civilian me was anymore. I never lived that life really, because I went in so young. And so I had to rediscover myself. And the point of my rediscovery started in Iraq, because we went there and I was under the assumption that we were going there to protect and to help liberate the people. And I saw that the military, the American soldiers had come over there, and we were the terrorists. I was a freaking terrorist, and I was like, oh my God, this is not what I signed up for. I didn't sign up to be a terrorist. And so there was a soldier in my unit who was also an Iraqi national, and he began to eat and exchange in conversation with the people there, and he changed on us. Like, he turned on us, and I went to him and I said, hey, I'm not judging you, and I understand because I'm seeing what's going on and everything, but what's really happening here? And we had pushed these people out of their whole town, and now they have to be guarded with weapons at their head to make our life more comfortable. Who are we? Who are we?
Yeah.
And when then we're there, they're building Burger Kings, they're building Pizza Huts. They're not even using. They wouldn't even give us cash back in like coins. They were keeping silver and coins and stuff, and they were giving us these paper chips with dollar amounts on it, which we could exchange for. This was the money. This was the currency we were using in this area. So understand, currency is what is accepted. This currency of the Federal Reserve note is only what is accepted, what they're accepting. But if these businesses started accepting other forms of currency, then you wouldn't only be limited to the U.S. Federal Reserve note. You get it? So yeah. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in the military. The military taught me what is going on right now, because everything that I experienced over there is everything the people in America are now beginning to experience with the UN soldiers and the National Guard being deployed on ground. This is what's happening. When they started doing these live exercises in small places like Mobile, Alabama, I knew something was going on. Then all these other things started happening. Then you start hearing about all these private prisons that's being built, and no one knows the exact location and all these different things. And now we're at chemical and biological warfare. We've been at that, but the thing is now it's a little bit different, because it's not just on one person, it's on all the people. Everybody is being exposed to harmful agents in the air, harmful chemicals being sprayed upon the foods that we are going to eat, that we have no other choices, because they took agriculture out of communities. The community I grew up in, we grew our own food and we ate from each other. I remember that growing up. They grew food in their backyard and handed it out to people, other families down the street. And you ain't have to pay for nothing all the time, but you get what I'm saying. If you had it to give to help the next family out, that's what you did. The community was self-sufficient. It was the county. But the county that moved up in the county, the people in the neighborhood that went and doggone, now it's city. We got sidewalks and, it used to be dirt roads and everything. So now there's gentrification is taking place, ever so subtle, but it is what it is. Now you got the chemical and biological warfare.
So how does the next generation of women and men out there handle and deal with what we're seeing here today happen? Well, right now we're under this flu virus. I mean, our whole world has been turned upside down right now, and we can, but still the people out there still have to motivate and live together, and the times carry on. But understanding the times in which you live today, what's the answer? I mean, obviously you gave your book there. Obviously that gives a lot of reference to how people out there and the world today that you promoted earlier. But do you have anything else you want to add to that? I mean, that you've learned since writing your book?
That we basically need to get over our differences and see where we have similar issues, and then build upon measures of fixing those issues. And it all starts with self. You can't work with anybody who isn't doing any individual work. That's dead weight. So
individualism is a failure. Individualism is a failure. Instead, we need to work as being as a community as a whole, as being together instead of divided.
individual work coming together collectively. So
there you go.
One pole doesn't need another pole to stand, but when you lay something across the top of them to hold each pole in place, then you have unity. You have solidarity. You have a foundation. You have a structure. You have a fortress. You have all those things that give the foundation its strength. So the point is that each person has to be their own pole and stand up and hold up the damn foundation. You can't be leaning on the next pole and then expect for no weight to fall upon another pole if you're not holding your own weight. The other pole don't need your.
Hey, if I may, let me put this in that
I got a little bit excited, but.
That's good. It's always good to be excited about freedom. Listen, everybody, the phone number 657-383-0616. As we start getting ready to close down the show here, I want Mandelkuan to weigh in on that. Go ahead.
Well, let me weigh in on right where we are in understanding the times in which we live. My voice, her voice, your voice. We are a committee of one on behalf of a committee of the whole, based on the new information that will open up everybody's eyes and turn their light bulb on. It takes a village to raise a child. Yet adrenochrome. Adrenochrome. Now, here's why I'm the baddest man ever born on the history of the planet, because of adrenochrome. Donald Trump 2020. What a great time to be alive, where the deep state, the cabal, the elite is under indictment because of the atrocities and war crimes, specifically that's being forced on women, children, old folk. I say children first. Women first, then children. Children. The number one endangered species on the planet are children. Remember the Pelican Brief with Julia Roberts, and then there was Denzel Washington. As I blow the whistle on this thing, adrenochrome, the number one endangered species I can prove, and you can prove it, is children. Not on the milk box, but the missing children because of the cabal, the deep state, from the Roman Catholic Church to the elite that needs this $1 million commodity that is supposed to give them the fountain of youth. Do you know that children are being hunted more than rabbits, more than lions, tigers, more than whales, more than a fish? Children. And to get adrenochrome, to give you that sustenance that you think will give you eternal life, you have to drink their blood, their substance. You have to kill them. You have to put them in fear. You have to chase them and hunt them. And that is where more than melanin, which melanin is $400 and something an ounce, the number two commodity, but adrenochrome is $1 million. Gold, diamond, silver, and oil can't compare to the two. And it comes from the pineal gland of the children. Adrenochrome is what these elite, the people in power, cardinals, bishops, monsignors, elected officials, everyone who's $1 million hitters, you have to kill the children and drink their blood and inner sustenance to give you power. You may not believe what I just told you.
It sounds like organ harvesting. Sounds like the organ harvesting, that sick crap that they do with the organ harvesting.
But that's a little different. That's kind of organ harvesting. That's different than genocide. The heart, kidneys, and livers, they're over $50,000 a piece. But the adrenochrome is that sustenance that rich people in their woods and their farms and everything, they get children and they put them in fear and they torture them and they kill them. And people are hunting parties of the elite on islands and everywhere to bring foster care, to bring this thing called abandoned children or adopted children or what have you. this is the reason why we are looking all over the world and say, what happened to the children? A lot of us families, we are abandoning our children, but they are going into the deep state. That's why I love Donald Trump, even though I will never vote for him or Joe Biden. The fact of the matter is that we all see what's going down at the moment, and we all just as guilty because we submit. Our submission gives this thing permission alone. That's why it's so very important. I believe the children are our future, and we must save the children. And I'm Malachi, the children of the corn. Do y'all understand that if the children recognize what is actually happening to them, what they're going to do to your elders, and I'm authorizing young people, don't kill the old. Don't kill the old. They under mind control at MK Ultra. They got to be arrested. But you are the power, young people. You are the power. And you have to stop the killing and start healing. You got to stop your tribalism, your gangsterism. Raheem, Jose, Junebug, Aaliyah, and Ling Ling. All you children under Center for Disease Control, all you children under the what they call that thing, Child Protective Services, Child Protective Services, all those people under this thing called divide and fuck up the family court. The judges and attorneys and the state welfare people, they have to divide the children because that's what gives them substances. And then when you look at the donor program, all the people who's in this donor program, you know, we donating and we trying to adopt children. Most people that allow their children to go into adoption and foster care, the system say, well, look, the parents don't care about them, so we can do what we want to them. So now you have people that's in donor programs, they're getting heart, kidney, and liver, they're getting pineal glands, they're getting melanin, they're getting adrenochrome, because it's the mother and father who are abandoning their original children. So now we're bringing everything back to the center because we all are guilty. And all of us know what's happening, but we didn't know how it added up. And here's why Donald Trump is so important. Ellen DeGeneres, Oprah Winfrey, Charles Barkley, a whole bunch of others are under house arrest. They had to shut down the entertainment world because the elite entertainment from Hollywood, they all was with this guy. What was his name that had Playboy magazine? The guy?
Who are you talking about? Bill Gates?
Hugh Hefner, right?
Hefner. Oh, Hugh Hefner. Yeah. Yeah,
now,
that pervert.
There was a woman that had the black book. What was her name? The black book that exposed all of Hollywood and everything. What was her name? Holly Fleiss.
Oh, I don't know.
Holly Fleiss, right?
That's a good one, though.
Holly Fleiss.
Oh, yeah. Yep, yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, what I'm telling you is that even the nuns know that the cardinals, bishops, and monsignors wasn't celibate. They raped the nuns, and they had forced them to have abortions, and they hid the children in the grounds of the cathedrals and the temples. If y'all go dig up them grounds like y'all looking for, where is, what's his name that died from the Teamsters Union, and they didn't find his body?
Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa. Okay, now go look in the cathedrals and nuns. Come forth, mothers. You got protection now. And you don't have to worry about them cardinals, bishops, and monsignors, who they all are still think that they have first crack at the young children's sexual organs. They honestly believe in the Bible, Torah, and Quran that they are supposed to do what they're doing. This is why we got their ass, and this is what adrenochrome is. I want y'all to go look up adrenochrome.
There is a secret occult society out there, Mandelkuan. You're absolutely correct. That is practicing those rituals. You're absolutely correct. I don't know if it's on a bigger scope that you're claiming that it's on. I've wondered that myself. But, yes, there is a sick occultic society out there, and CPS is involved, and these courts are too. And, they're a disgusting group of people, and they got the bag of chairs.
Do you know that Ellen DeGeneres and Oprah Winfrey is under house arrest, and many others? Do you know that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But many others don't know about it.
Why do you think that some of the elected officials and the people in higher echelons of the elite offices, the page boys in Washington, D.C., remember the page boys? And how all the elected officials use young men and children to have their sexual proclivity that they thought that nobody would ever look at and see what they were doing. The Boy Scout troop leaders, did you
Yep.
understand what's happening with the Boy
They got
Scouts? 'Cause I was an
claims.
Eagle Scout. I was an Eagle Scout,
They
but I
got
never
a
let the
claim
brother.
for the Boy Scouts now.
Yeah. No,
but
you're right. You're right.
was
A lot of people don't understand exactly what you're talking about, but if you've been paying attention instead of taking selfies on the internet, you'd fully understand exactly what's going on out there. And you're absolutely correct, Mandelkuan. That's great what you just said right there. But I know you got to get over to Zoom. It's getting late. I want to give your closing thoughts. I'm going to give this caller. This caller's been waiting a long time. I'm going to give it one more chance. 786. Go ahead. You want to talk?
Hello.
No. Yes. Go ahead. The
Hello.
floor is yours. Yes.
Hello. Yes. Am I on?
Yes, we hear you.
Hey, you're on. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Yes. Good afternoon, Mandelkuan and the host. My name is Atara. I called because I thought this show was going to be about getting ready or positioning ourselves for, if I could say it, a revolt revolution. Because not only am I...
that's what it's about. We kind of just spun a little bit off that, though. But go ahead. The floor is yours.
Okay, yeah, because I'm experiencing, because I'm personally for this revolt to take place, because this government, and that's what we have to change. If the government is not going to be for the people, we need another government, and this government is not for the people. And so I'm for it. I'm ready, and whatever way I can help to get it set off, I'm here to help.
What's your name, Mother, and what city are you in?
Go ahead, Mandelkuan.
My name is Atara. My Facebook name is Georgia Woods.
What city are you in?
Miami.
Oh, wow, Miami.
Yeah.
You remember when Miami was just a desolation, a wasted land before the Cuban boat crashes, and then all of a sudden that cocaine, the big cocaine that came from South and Central America, and that was used as a bank?
I was a pretty young woman then, and I wasn't really paying attention to things, but as I grew, I got to see it on television, because I know everything we dealing in real life is being shown on television, so I got to see a little bit of it. So, I remember when it was Cocaine Cowboy and all this. It was a madness. It's madness.
Oh, yeah, the godmother there. Who was the godmother there? The one there that took over there?
Esmeralda Blanco. But before that, Miami was just a swampland.
Yeah.
Before Batista, and then
But
Castro.
how has it changed? I mean, how have we learned, though, from the mistakes of those days? Have we learned? Have we moved forward at all? Or are we just saying, remember the good old days, or remember the bad old days? Yeah, I was around back then. You know, what are we doing to change it? What are we doing?
I see what Mandelkuan is talking about. That's the only way we can change it, because the government is not just rotten from the outside, it's to the core. So it's going to take a real serious revolution stand in order to get rid of a government that is evil. I mean, it's evil.
I agree.
I'm out of my home. I'm out of my home right now simply because the government sent people in to remove me from my home, because I'm standing up for my rights, my common law rights.
Yeah.
And
so we've lost those rights. We've lost those rights because of deception and persuasion and force.
No, we never lost the rights. Common law
we
never
gave them up. We gave them up. We're not recognizing our rights. Let's put it that way. We're not fighting for our rights.
They are wrong. They break the law, and they have got to stand. They got to be punished for it. They cannot break the law. They've been breaking the law for a long time. The laws are in place for a reason, and we have a right as man to privacy. They have no right to approach us if we have not broken a law. We have not caused harm. We've not destroyed anybody's property. They have no right, no common law rights, no constitutional rights, no kind of lawful rights. And when you got a government that's over people and violating lawful people, no, they got to go. There is no comedy. You can't make sense of this government. It's not gonna. It's never.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree. It's too far gone. It's too far.
Yes.
It's just there's just no rebuilding anything because it's too far gone. It's evil. It's rotten to the core. Even the history,
to the core
history of the government.
To the core. So, and I'm on here because I want to know, when the day that we stand, and we want to keep it just bloodless. But if there's any bloodshed, it's going to be them trying to shed our blood, because that's the blood they've been shedding all these thousands of years.
Amen. You're absolutely correct.
So I'm ready, and Mandelkuan, you put out the word, let us know, and I'll get the word as far as I can take.
Mandelkuan, before I give you the closing to the show, Mandelkuan, let Archiveda, do you want to give some closing thoughts here real quick?
Yeah, I would just like to say I'm completely with, did you say your name was Atara?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
yes.
It's nice to meet you. I'm Akshita Veda. And
okay.
I am interested in really just building with you as far as your perspective. I'm here in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
And really beginning to work within my own community to get people in the know of what we're doing and why it's important. A lot of times is that the people are not educated in what we have educated ourselves in. So now it's time for us to begin to educate the other women and children. And so we need an outlet in which to do that. And so I would like to build with you further. I just sent you a friend request on Facebook. So if you're interested, accept it, and then we can start building from there, because I'm ready to rock and roll just like you.
Well, there you go. Mandelkuan, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to go ahead and give your closing thoughts, and then we'll head on over to Zoom and see what happens over there. Go ahead, Mandelkuan.
Mayday, 2020. Understand the times we live in today. The total recall requires the appointment, exigency, executive order, and me alone, as the chosen SUN of the Matriarch, has appointed a multitude of women, over 4,000 of them for 8 years. I have appointed you, and your assignment is to deputize every woman in your sector, whether she's a crack mother, prostitute, or stripper, or whether she's of the elite. If you are a daughter of the Matriarch, we are under total recall to crush the Masonic Patriarch into oblivion in the bloodless revolution. So the deputization of all women is the assignment of every woman on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whether she want to be the most fashionable women on social media, she want to be the goddess, the empress, the queen of queens, or the chosen daughter, or whoever. Your assignment this day forward is to deputize, because I appointed you on behalf of Class Action 567, and to bring 11 million people together very soon, and to bring that into 100 million in a short time. In all of your social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, all your friends, every woman, you must deputize. If you say that you are a goddess, you are an empress, you are a queen of queens, a queen of queen, or a princess, that's protocol, priority, and rite of passage. The transition of power is back to the matriarch. So everyone must deputize every woman in her sector, locally, county, city, state, and federally, and only the women can call for when we shut this nation down to overturn in the bloodless revolution. Remember, there were 3 marches that changed the course of this country. There was the Million Man March in 1995. I was there. There was the Million Woman March in 1997, where they had Sister Soldier and Winnie Mandela, my leader, the keynote speaker. There were 2 million people, and we don't hear nothing about that. Then there was the Million Man March with the keynote speaker, Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I was there at all 3 of those engagements. But when I operated under those organizations, I told them that the final analysis is when the total recall of the matriarch is called. So only the mothers, grandmothers, and the great-grandmothers are the proper authority and administration to say this is going to be the day the earth stands still. And they're going to announce the date when we march the hordes on the capitals and surround them with the white militia, the Huey Newton Gun Club, with the old Black Panthers, with the Ku Klux Klan, and whoever want to exercise their Second Amendment as it was intended. You get to the black of the bus if you want to have your gun. But mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers, you and your children, old folks, you are the arrest warrant, and you authorize the arrest of the tyrants. And anybody that's got a gun and want to pop off, you only pop off if they prevent you from exercising the transition of power from the Masonic patriarch back to the matriarch. So Mandelkuan, Donald Trump, or Joe Biden cannot pass the authority transition of power of live and let live. Only the mothers, grandmothers, and great-grandmothers. And I command every mother to deputize every woman with their children, old folks, and the good men who will stand with you, and the transition of power will happen without firing a shot. Much love, much respect.
All right, Mandelkuan, give out the Zoom channel one more time, and then we'll get ready to wrap it up here. And we did do this show spontaneously. We did have quite a few people on here that did listen spontaneously. That's good. And we'll try to give you more notice next time. But, this is Mandelkuan tonight. We gave him the floor here tonight, and the show is called Understanding the Times in Which We Live Today. Mandelkuan, give out the Zoom platform again, please.
Oh, yes. Everyone in your Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, worldwide, in the worldwide web, from Maine to Florida, Washington State to California, UK, University of Kentucky, download the app of Zoom on your notebook, your laptop, on your computer, on your phone, smartphone or dumb phone, download the app. And every night, 7 nights a week, this Zoom room is open for us to interact. And we need more hands on the lightning load. And you get in once you download the app. The number is 931-487-5206. That's to get access. That's 931-487-5206. And to get access to come in is 121212. 121212 allows you to join the meeting on the access code. So I've said the numbers, and we'll repeat them as we come on each and every night, because we're building this thing up, and we're at the right place at the right time in the right season for the right reason.
That's right. And we'll try to give 24 hours next time before we do another show, because I know a lot of people follow us on social media. And tonight was Mandelkuan's show, The People's Revolution, the Matriarch, and Archiveda. She promoted her book earlier. Hopefully her email address is TOT, T as in Tom, O as in Oliver, T as in Tom, A as in Alan, L as in Larry, R as in Road, E as in Ever, C as in Call, A as in Alan, L as in Lover, M as in Men, at gmail.com. Pick up her book, okay? Because I know it's hard to pick up the letters when we talk here on this radio show. For some reason, I know that we're muffled. But anyway, everyone, good night. God bless. Take care.
All love.